I talk sustainability left, right and centre. That's all I tend to talk about with regards to diets, but there's actually nothing wrong with doing a short-term weight loss plan. Here's why. Just like walking into a casino and putting £1,000 down on the blackjack table, there is nothing wrong with doing that as long as you are prepared to lose £1,000. What I mean by this is, as long as you are aware of the risks and you're aware that there is life after losing that £1,000, potentially, then there's nothing wrong with gambling in the first place. It's when you get out of control and when you get lost in the sense of gambling that it spirals out of control. And your dieting is the same way. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing a diet, doing a short-term approach to weight loss to lose a shitload of weight quickly. There's nothing wrong with that. My mindset is always on what happens afterwards. Here's the problem. Quite often people will jump on scales after a week of working with me and go, oh, I've only lost 3 pounds, but last time I did Slimming World, I lost 7 in the first week. And the point of that is because the approach I take is a lot more sustainable, and therefore a diet doesn't work if you lose the weight. A diet works if you lose the weight and you keep it off. The problem is, you're not keeping it off. Otherwise you wouldn't be sat in front of me and you wouldn't be saying to me, Moisey, well, I've only lost 3 pounds in the first week. But that's not to say that you can't do both. You can go on a fast fat loss program and then transition over to a sustainable program. I encourage everybody at least once to go on a faster fat loss program because it teaches you a lot about what you're actually capable of doing. So that when you switch over to a sustainable plan, it's much easier and you don't find it as difficult. Whereas someone who's never dieted before, going on a sustainable plan is still difficult because let's face it, you're still in a calorie deficit and you're still having to do more activity than you normally would. All I encourage you all to do is on your diets is to make sure that you have sustainability in mind after you finish. Make sure you walk into that casino fully prepared to lose that £1,000, knowing that there is a chance, of course, that you could come out of it with more money, but you know what, it's throwaway. Go into your diet thinking, you know what, I'm quite happy to lose a shitload of weight, but I'm well aware that there's a lot of work to do after I finish my diet, and therefore I need to prioritise sustainability. So, Moisey, what does that look like? Well, every successful diet, and by successful, as mentioned, it means that you lost the weight and kept it off, is based on habit. It's based on your routine, something you can stick to, that you can evolve as part of your life. So, by all means, follow the strict exercise plan, follow the strict diet, but bear in mind that some of these behaviours you're going to have to keep. Otherwise, if you go back to exactly how you were previously, all that's going to happen is all the weight's going to go back on and you'll find yourself in the same position in 6 months' time. You need to change the habits that put you there in the first place. But in your current diet, look at the activity you do which is sustainable. The walking, for example, can you maintain that? Or maybe elements of the diet, you know, you started tracking your food. Could you maintain that? Or the mindfulness of your food, maintain that into day-to-day life after you finish your diet. It's not about keeping all of it, but it's about keeping the habits and the newfound behaviours that you've implemented since starting the routine. Guys, let's not beat around the bush here. It's all common sense. But as a good saying I heard the other day, common sense isn't always common practice. Not everybody applies these principles to their diet. They go ham and they go absolute all in on everything, thinking that they're not going to lose their money. And then it ends up they do, and they wonder what the fuck they did in the first place. So by all means, as mentioned, do an extreme weight loss plan, do an extreme diet, do any diet you fucking well like. But bear in mind, there is life after that diet. Thanks ever so much for watching, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, share it with your mates, click the old share button down the bottom, and I'll see you on the next video. All the best.